Hey, what's going on with you, everybody? I'm your man, the Cash Minister. I'm the owner of Employee the Boss, and man, helping employees get to that glorious day where they get to fire their own boss, and man, and entrepreneurs and business owners take their business off to the next level and off to the races. So, man, how you guys doing this Sunday, man? Hope y'all doing good. You doing great. Going forward, man, you working on it, you crushing it, and getting everything that you want in life because that's what life is all about, right? Absolutely, absolutely, man. So first of all, I want to thank everybody who's coming on live, who's watching as we going live with it. I also want to thank everybody who's watching and replay. So I want to thank you very much for your time and I'm looking to bring the value and content that will really help you in your life and business that will really help you go forward because it's really very important about that. So I really had talked. I really talk a lot about the inner part, the unseen world, the what's like really will hold you up and go forward. Because without knowing that part, it doesn't matter what kind of system or program that you have or that you put in place. Without that, it's not going to happen. I mean, or you have your moments of success, and then you have moments where you don't make it and you struggling and things like that. So you got to know like there's truly like an inner and outer mechanics of life. Okay, and your inner world really creates your outer world, and knowing that. So before I really dive into it, man, and go forward, I want to tell you a little bit about me. So the reason why I'm certified to even talk about it, because look, I've been there. I've been as the employee, and now working for myself as my own boss. Man, the the journey that I had to go through to get to where I'm at, man, it's been a journey, and there was a lot of learning. Um, Not even so much about really the outside or anything like that. It was really about learning me, about learning who I was and what was holding me up or what was holding me back, and um, why why I wasn't going forward at times, or why I had them good spurts and then I had dry seasons in my life, and I was like, man, that's just I gotta figure that part out. So it's so crucial and important that I had to learn that. And so I went through a lot, man, of working for somebody else and trying to figure out about life and business, and so I had other jobs and I worked for other people. And I remember also going for being my trying to be my own boss and going for entrepreneurship. It was struggle because that's not what everybody around me has ever done. You know, my mother, my father, my family, and things. I always had worked for somebody else. So me talking about, man, I want to run my own business. I want to go forward and things like that. I got all kind of ridicule, and all kind of negative feedback. Like, come on, man, who you think you doing that and trying to go forward and make it in life? And so I also I had a few businesses and working for myself because um, before I full fledged and really started like open up my own company and things like that, I did a lot of 1099s, which is pretty much exactly like working for yourself because hey, at that moment you're not on nobody's clock. You know what I mean? You work for yourself and pretty much it's all about you getting results or commissions or doing what you're supposed to get forward and making that happen. So if you don't show up and perform, then hey, that's on you. You got to do your own taxes. You got to, do your own write-offs. You got to keep track of your mileage and things of this sort. So, like I said, I had the good runs and I had the bad runs. And so when I was having bad runs, I said, man, what's the deal? So I really figured out that what, and also through help. Let me say that through my mentor. Um, they exposed me to a different world and understanding about exactly what's going on. And so when they told me, I didn't really believe it. And so I like, hey, one thing is, hey, never watch the news. Do not watch the news. Okay. And people say, why shouldn't you not watch the news? Why? It's because you have to understand this. When you're watching the news, we're thinking, oh, we're trying to stay, abreast about what's going on and exactly about what's going on in the world and trying to stay up on everything. But in reality, that's not what's going on. Okay. The news is not really reality. You're like, come on, it's on TV. How you gonna tell me it's not reality? Well, you may or may not know, but there's a few people who control the media outlet stations and things like that. So as they broadcast and put those things forth, they know and understand the programming of the mind. Okay. Why you think they keep saying the same thing over and over and over again? Why? Because repetition is the key. Once you hear something over and over again, you just start to get it. Also, one of my I like Mike Murdoch. He said when you tired of hearing something, you just now finally starting to get it. When you tired of hearing something, you just now finally starting to get it. And so a lot of time when people they read books or something like that, they like, oh, I got it, I read it already. But no, you really didn't because I mean, think about even now. Like, hey, I might be talking to you, but you might be having a honey to do list or something of that factor, and you're not fully focused on what you're reading or what you're hearing, so you don't know it or you don't pick up on everything. And so then when you play a different part, or and when you hear it again, then you hear it upon it. So the untold truth is, look, what they're displaying and what they telling or showing everybody is this. That's everybody else reality. That's everybody else reality. That's it. They're not displaying exactly what's going on. And we've never been told that we can create our own reality. You know what I mean? If you're not told that you can create your own reality, that's why majority of people, 8 out of 10 people, believe it's something else that control their life. Oh, it's the government, it's life, it's our parents, it's the president. You know what I mean? It's the news media, it's the rich, it's the poor. Yeah, it's this race, it's that race, it's this race. And everybody's on that list except for who? We don't put ourselves on that list because we've been taught it's somebody outside of us that control our life and control our world. It's not somebody else that control our life or control our world. It's us. It's what we think inside our mind. It's what we've been programmed with. It's what we've been conditioned to ever since we was younger, ever since we was little boys and girls. Hey, your thoughts or what you have about money or business and everything like that. Think about it. You're not really, even though you're very capable of thinking for yourself, you're not thinking for yourself. Well, everybody say, "Our business is hard and life is hard," and hey, that's what you're repeating over and over again. I mean, you got to think about it. Back in the time where they believed the world was flat, not everybody had ships. Okay, you know, didn't nobody have ships or anything like that. I mean, they was probably exploring and probably never did come back. They were like, man, I told you the world was flat. Hey, did you see Saint Mark? He didn't come back. So I told you the world was flat. Man, and so people who didn't ever have ships or anything like that, they believed in what somebody else said, and then they shared it with somebody else, and then they shared it with somebody else, and they story kept going on and on. The world is flat. The world is flat. Until somebody come back and say, you know what? The world ain't flat. The actual world is a big sphere, and you can there's other continents and land and other places. Did you know it? You like we have to realize that part. Our untold truth is us. We have to start reprogramming our mind to know and receive more, take in new knowledge, take in new information so that we can go forward and get to where we want to get to. Until we realize that, we always going to blame somebody else. We're going to blame our skin color. We're going to blame the way the economy is. We're going to blame the president. Okay. And I'm not going to get into politics. Okay. But look, everybody's on the list except for who? Us. And until you really start diving into the subconscious mind, to diving in how your mind works, into how your beliefs and your image and things like that, you'll never go further than that program. It's a thermostat in our mind to bring us back to exactly where we are if we try to stretch beyond that. And we have to understand that's what our mind is, what it does. Okay. It is set at a certain point of your growth, and once you get there, it's set. And if you happen to go a little bit past it, then your mindset, that's not who you are, that's not what you do. It's time to come back to your level. Boom. And that's what it does every single time. I talk about this. It's a perfect day to talk about it because, hey, it's Sunday, right? So I can't call myself the cash minister and not minister some truth to you, right? Because if I don't tell you the truth, who's gonna tell you the truth? I man, now I would, but more than likely, 8 to 9 out of 10, you're never gonna hear it on the news. It's never gonna be broadcasted to the whole wide world. Hey, you can control your own life. I mean, it may happen, but the chances are it's highly unlikely. You're never going to hear the news say, you can control your own world, your own life. It doesn't matter how the economy is. You can create your own economy. You don't need the government. You don't need the president. You can make your life as good or as bad as you want. The chances of you hearing that, it's like 1 in a million. Okay. I mean, if it does happen, I'm like, what? Shut up. You hear me? I'm like, shut up. I I never would think ever that somebody would ever say that. You know what I mean? That's gonna be one of those things of like, wow, I thought I would die in my grave before I heard the news say that. And it is true. You never gonna hear the news say you can create your own world. You're responsible for your own life. You can make it how great and how poor you want to. They're not gonna tell you that. Why? Because at that moment, you stop consuming the lies. You'll stop believing everything else, and then you'll start knowing and understanding, hey, this is what you was born to do. Create your life. And much as big as the facet you can see, or however small that you can see or envision it. So it's important that we go further. We understand this part. I dive into this part. I tell you about it is because look, once you understand this part and really make that your truth, that hey, I only me create my own world. Only you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, like Smokey Bear, only you could prevent forest fires. You know what I mean? Once you start to embrace that and learn that, hey, the mind, the what God has given us, our subconscious mind, is no respecters of person. Because the same mind is in you, is in the young, the old, rich, poor, fat, skinny, black, white, whatever. Hey, so once you start doing this, everything else that I start showing you and anything else you want to learn, you can start crushing it. It will be easy. But until you get the inner mechanics, it's not about any system or program that you can do or buy until you change that belief. And if until you get that moment and that belief and moment and will stop to understand that, everything that you do, you're going to have this cycle. You're going to be like a roller coaster. Have ups, downs, ups. Hey, I'm your man, the Cash Minister. I love you, and I hope that that really helped because, man, it is so true like never before. And like I said, and if you're gonna do something, break down the inner mechanics, break down your subconscious mind and your thinking and your belief and how you think about life. Because until you do that, I don't care what book you read, I don't care what program you buy. Man, you can be talking to Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. You know what I'm saying? You can have a conversation with the great Oprah Winfrey, Steve Harvey, anybody. You can have the mentors, multimillionaires help you and tell you step by step, step one, step two, step three. But until you have the subconscious mind reprogram, there's nothing going to change that. And there's nobody who's going to tell you that but me. And first and foremost, don't go buy another program. Don't go read another book until you start learning about your mind. Don't go do anything else until you do that part first. I'm telling you, you will love yourself from here on out. You create your own happiness, your own depression, your own success, wealth. And I had to learn how to change my story. Once I started changing it, man, I grew outside of my comfort zone. I started to realize my value, the worth, and everything else. So I'm telling you, don't buy anything else. Don't listen to anything else until you start listening to that. Start listening to your thoughts. Understand what thoughts are you having? What empowering thoughts are you having that will help you go further? Which ones are holding you back? Know it, understand it, master it. Hey, before anybody came a master, they was a student. And when you become a student, then that's the day that you can become a master of your own life. Let me tell you this, as Cash Minister, look, there's nothing wrote in the sky. There's not God like, hey, let's figure out who's gonna be successful, who's not. That's not what he's done. There's nothing wrote nowhere in life that has determined your life of how far it can go, except for you. That's it. Hey, I love you. I hope they help. I'm telling you, don't believe or listen to anything else until you start doing that first part first. And tell you now, then you can start becoming and writing your own story and doing your own truth. All right. I'm your man, the Cash Minister. I love you. I look forward to talking to you later. You guys take care. All right. And master your mind and master your life. I love you.